2025 was the year that Chinese car dominance in South Africa stopped being a trend and became the new reality. The country posted its biggest vehicle sales year in over a decade, over 596,000 units sold. But strip that number down and the story shifts. Two Chinese automakers, both GWM and Chery, now rank 6th and 8th in South Africa by 2025 sales. And December alone saw Jetour crack the top 10 for the first time, while Chery announced plans to launch 2 new sub-brands this year. I mean, in the words of UFC legend Conor McGregor, they aren't here to take part, they are here to take over. But it's the pace of this that's most shocking. 3 years ago, Chinese cars were curiosities. Now they're forcing legacy European and Japanese brands into defensive mode. The Polo Vivo held onto its title as South Africa's best-selling car in 2025, but sales were flat. The locally built Polo Hatch and Fortuner both dropped out of the top 10 entirely, shedding sales while Chinese competitors just surged. I mean, dealerships report margins being crushed, and so it was no surprise last month when Motus, one of the country's biggest automotive retailers, retrenched 86 employees, citing Chinese competition as a core driver. But the trade-off here is visible in the numbers. South Africa's trade deficit with China hits 136.6 billion rand in the first 9 months of 2025, driven largely by these vehicle imports. And local manufacturing, which supports 460,000 jobs, is under this sustained pressure as a result. Now, don't get me wrong, consumers are winning better prices, better features, and more choice. But the industry that built those jobs is losing ground fast. So 2026 will answer the question that matters most. Will Chinese brands start building cars here, or just keep shipping them over? You see, several are reportedly running these feasibility studies on local assembly factories, but these studies don't create jobs. And so until Chinese manufacturers commit to full-scale production in South Africa, this affordability boom comes with a local job market that is under siege. But that's not the only place where record numbers are hiding a more complicated story. South Africa has just recorded the highest matric pass rate in its democratic history, but that number only tells part of the story. You see, the national pass rate climbed to 88.2%, a new record and a clear improvement on last year. And so yes, on the surface, it's a strong result in a system that has spent years under strain, but it immediately raises the question of what exactly has changed. Behind the headlines, the gains were broad-based. Every province improved, and for the first time, every district cleared the 80% pass rate. KZN led the country at 90.6%, followed by Free State and Gauteng. Education officials credited tighter exam administration, targeted catch-up programs, and more stable schooling conditions compared to recent years. But the pass rate still has some blind spots. Maths participation remains low, with only about a third of learners writing maths core. And furthermore, the maths pass rate dipped slightly. Bachelor passes, the ones required to study a degree, also made up a smaller share of total results, which serves as a reminder that these higher pass rates don't automatically translate into readiness for tertiary education. But either way, for all the learners who wrote, stuck it out, and made it through, this milestone belongs to you. Congratulations to the matric class of 2025. But while that unfolds in classrooms, our markets have had some unexpected momentum. You don't have to be in finance to know that South Africa's markets are having a surprisingly strong run. Mining shares jumped, the JSE pushed to new highs, and the rand firmed, all while global investors remain on edge. And so yes, it looks odd on the surface, but there is a clear reason behind it. The main driver here is metals. Gold has surged to record highs, with platinum and silver not far behind. Now, the immediate trigger here is global uncertainty, especially in the US, where, simply put, political pressure on its central bank has unsettled global investors. And when confidence in big institutions start wobbling, markets don't wait around to see how it ends. So when that happens, investors do what they've always done. They move money out of some of these currencies and into hard assets with real value, like gold, platinum, and commodities. And as you likely are aware, South Africa happens to be rich in exactly those materials. And so when the prices rise, our local mining companies benefit first, foreign money flows in, and the rand strengthens alongside it. So the tension here is straightforward. South Africa's market boom isn't happening because we fixed anything or found new reserves. It's happening because some global institutions look fragile and geopolitical risk is sparking. So as you can imagine, we are riding a wave that we didn't create and we can't control, which makes this rally profitable right now, but precarious by design. And before we cruise on to our bagel bite of the day, here's a couple other headlines worth knowing. For starters, the Mandlanga Commission will resume public hearings on the 26th of January, moving into the stage where officials named in allegations of criminal syndicates operating inside the police are expected to respond to claims made by the KZN Police Commissioner. After the diplomatic noise around South Africa hosting these naval drills, Iran has now stepped back from taking part. It will remain involved only as an observer, following quiet talks aimed at easing pressure on South Africa's already tense trade relationship with the US as these AGOA negotiations continue. And on that note of AGOA, the US House has overwhelmingly approved a 3-year extension of AGOA, but South Africa now faces a tougher fight in the Senate, where some lawmakers are questioning our eligibility. We'll dive more into what this is and why this is so important in tomorrow's video. And on to our bagel bite of the day. But first, just a side note, my friends, if you are enjoying the show, please can I ask that you guys support the channel through liking, subscribing, and sharing this with your mates. It goes a lot further than you think. And now with that out the way, let's get into it. This one should be pretty straightforward. You probably look at this every single day, so let's see if you've actually noticed. How many colors are in the Google logo? Is it A, 3, B, 4, or C, 5? Bonus points if you know what color each of the letters are. We'll give you the answer at the end of the show. There's one critical hospital resource that we can't just ramp up on demand, and that is blood. You can't manufacture it, it expires, and when stock drops, doctors often have to make trade-offs in real time, especially in trauma units, operating theaters, and maternity wards. That's why donation matters more than most people realize. You see, according to the South African National Blood Service, fewer than 1% of South Africans donate blood regularly, even though a single donation can reportedly save up to 3 lives. And look, the process itself is actually far less dramatic than most people can imagine. Roughly half an hour from start to finish, a couple seconds of discomfort, and you're done. Usually with a juice box and a biscuit for your trouble. So the reality of this is simple. Demand doesn't spark, it just ticks along every day. And so the system only works if people occasionally step in. And so if you ever walk past a blood drive and have half an hour to spare, it's one of those rare trades where the cost is small and the upside is very real, even if you never get to see it for yourself. And as for that bagel bite, the answer is 4. Blue, red, yellow, and green. Simple in theory, but strangely difficult in practice, which is pretty crazy considering some of us probably Googled something within the last hour. And my friends, that's it for today's show. I hope you enjoyed watching this one as much as we enjoyed putting it together. Hope you guys have a great day further. Be kind to one another, and we'll catch you all tomorrow for the next round of the good stuff. God bless.